Welcome to the Economy and Politics Conversation. I'm Ottoabasi Abasiekong. This edition will discuss Nigeria capital markets, the age of AI, beyond distributed ledger technology. This is derived from the 2024 online trading report published by Proshare. With me to discuss this report is Tosin Ige, Head of Research. Nice to have you.
Thank you.
And Phebe Ogede, an economist with Proshare.
Thank you, sir.
Nice to have you. Let's begin by understanding what this report highlighted as the emerging trends and developments in the global online trading landscape. Can you share some insights into it?
First of all, I want us to know that transparency, speed, and reliability are the heart of the 21st century capital market. So as our topic for this report implies, we've seen that the age of AI, we've seen trends, key trends, and development in this current age. It is important to note that online trading landscape is undergoing a surge in its development. This is due to the technological advancement and preference of investors. Okay, so we've seen key trends like adoption of cryptocurrency. We've seen adoption of AI, integration of AI into investment. We've also seen the surge of ETF markets. And we've also seen various trends like improvement of products or varieties of products into the market. We've seen platforms adopting new products like mutual funds, bonds apart from just commodities. We've seen varieties of products that enable investors make choices of their preference in the market. So we've seen this trend and development in the online trading platform. And we've also seen that the global online trading has taken a shift as we've seen growth from 2023 that was currently at, 38 billion to this current year, we see it at 11.17 billion. And it is forecasted to reach 17.28 billion in 2030. So this shows that this trend is coming to stay for a while and there's going to be growth consistently. And this is to note that irrespective of this growth, the major aim is to ensure that the interests of investors are kept, market integrity is kept, and also economic growth is achieved.
Very nice starting point from you, Phoebe. Transparency, interest of investors, and of course, economic growth. But it's quite remarkable that the evolution of global online trading has evolved now from $10.98 billion in 2023, and we're projecting $17.28 billion by 2030. That's quite remarkable, I'll get back to you on that, but that's very, very interesting. Let's get to you, Tosin. The rankings, I know that we've done this over the years. Can you share some of the findings from the rankings in the Nigerian online trading reports and insights into the surveys and methodology that was deployed? I know that every year we look at how we approach it, survey and methodology.
Okay, let me start from where you dropped it. And it's the fact that it's basically a capital market report. And unlike the conventional reports that actually review the market, the report is an attempt to track our progress from the end of the open outcry onto the digital trading that we now have in the system, whereby you can either use the web-based or app-based. So the report is actually like tracking year on year on how we are progressing along this digital trading. And so rather than now taking those approach of whether we want to review the market, we're looking at those digital platforms. How are the platform performing and how is the market itself evolving? So it's basically in two phases. We're looking at the market ecosystem and how it is using it, as I said. On the other hand, we're also looking at the platform, how are they progressing? So it's basically not an attempt to rank who is first in terms of all of this, but we're looking at the ecosystem. What are the users saying at this period in terms of the online trading? What are the operators themselves saying? So, and that informed the way we went about with this report. Of course, we surveyed the users and we also surveyed the operators in different, with different methodology anyway. And one of the key insights we've gotten from the report is that a number of people, because again, let me say that annually, we actually track the development happening in each year. So if you recall very well, there has been a time that we actually did DLT as an online trading fund. I think last year we looked at the digital future, and this year again we saw that beyond DLT, AI is coming on board, and that's why we said beyond DLT, AI beyond DLT, in terms of the title for this particular report. But so it now leads us to what we find in the report, that a number of investors, because we're really targeted investors, a number of investors, about 31%, are not knowledgeable about DLT. And a number of them said, in terms of the benefits, they identify that yes, there is a transparency that comes with the DLT, but a number of them are still skeptical in terms of adoption. Do you understand? So they are still skeptical in terms of whether they will adopt this or not. So that informed the trend that we see in the market, and a whole number of findings in the report. So let me just wrap it there.
You leave it at there, but of course it's very interesting. To our viewers, when you hear the words AI and DLT, artificial intelligence, distributed ledger technology, which also blockchain. Yes. And it's quite interesting to see how the adoptions have been from the reports. The top 3 globally, US, Canada, UK, and in Africa, South Africa, Kenya, and Nigeria. So my own bias is that Nigeria should work on being number 1, in Africa, and that's very important. But I'll come to you, Phebe. Now, regulation is very important. I've seen the International Organization of Securities Commissions that try to bring out guidelines towards regulatory bodies in the capital market on how to approach new technologies, digital assets. But looking at this report, how would you assess the adaptation, and how should Nigeria's apex regulator, the Securities and Exchange Commission, position itself to build a fit-for-purpose market, understanding that now we're in the age of these new technologies like artificial intelligence and blockchain, which is also known as the distributed ledger technology. They are here bringing some disruptions, but we need that regulation to achieve what you said, investor protection and also value for the market and economic growth.
Okay, I'll start with a line from our report, which says Proshare analysts have argued that the SEC should not be turned into the government piggy bank.
Oh yes, very important. Not the government
to promote capital market growth and development.
Yes,
and to achieve this, the SEC must create regulatory sandboxes, to check the market, to protect investors, to support adoption of DLT and AI, to also protect the market integrity. That is one way they can achieve this. Another way is to improve financial education. There should be a target audience. For instance, now going to schools, university, to make them know that okay, this is what investment is all about, so that these people can begin to invest at a tender age. There's also a part where they can go into global integration, cross-border listing. The SEC should improve on listing Nigeria companies in the international exchanges, and also to take surveys, take feedbacks from the market. What improves anybody or any person is by taking feedback from people, knowing where you have done right, knowing where you've done wrong, to improve this system. I think if the SEC begin to take these precautions and actions, they'll be able to create a dynamic, a transparent, and a more efficient capital market that will involve in the interest of more investors, even attract foreign investors, and most importantly, like I've said earlier, to boost the economic growth.
Very important, because we've had conversations with the Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Dr. Momotimi Agama, and of course, Tosin, you know that recently he talked about how DLT can improve transparency in the market. And you've raised a very fundamental issue. This year's World Investor Week looked at digital assets, cryptocurrencies, how they would transform the market. And it's very important that beyond the World Investor Week, like you said, the Securities and Exchange Commission should drive the investor education and awareness on how this is going to transform the market. and the advocacy will continue from the Proshare. But at least this report, of course, the SEC would have to look at it too, and all the market operators. But that's very incisive, Phebe. So let me come to you, Tosin. I mean, it's really interesting what we've seen from the report in terms of the stages of, at the global level, the top three, US, Canada, UK, leading their adoption process. And of course, in Africa, South Africa, Kenya, Nigeria, there's a lot of work to be done. But from this report, what are the imperatives for artificial intelligence and distributed ledger technology for the Nigerian capital market to deepen the market? That's very important. And like the DG of SEC and other capital market leaders have said, embrace the younger population, because we're a country of a young demography, and they want to find it attractive.
So I like where you picked it from. And it's one of the, we identify a number of imperatives, but let me just speak two out of it. And the first one is that in the trading process itself, now we understand that DLT, based on our review, can actually modernize the trading process, can also increase efficiency and as well as enhance transparency. Now, if you want to, you mentioned the younger population, we know that the baby boomers, a number of them got their hand burned during the last market bust.
Yeah.
And so we've seen them, die back from the market. So
a lot of us are not recovered from that.
Exactly. So that now leave the younger population, the Gen Z, the Gen Alpha, and the rest of them for the markets. Now, in attracting these guys, they are more interested in a decentralized system. And now this is what DLT brings to the table. So in modernizing our trading system, you are attracting the young folks. So that's why we're saying, let us incorporate DLT into the trading process as one of the imperatives, because we'll be increasing the efficiency, and at the same time, young folks are interested in transparency, and DLT presents this features, as she has pointed out. That's on the trading angle. And on the other hand, even in terms of the clearing, settlement, and the depository, the market infrastructure, it is the same thing. When we bring DLT into the system, it streamlines the system such that either through smart contract or through automated process, we are having that efficiency, we are having that transparency, such that even the cost, we're cutting the cost.
Yeah.
And so this is what attracts young folk, because they, the market is still, the settlement time is still T+3. And then when you want to verify your profile on any of this platform, again, it takes days. Some of them will give you days. And
the young people need a T+1.
And the young people need
T+1.
T+1.
T+0 if possible.
T+0. They are interested in that speed, that transparency, and this is what DLT and AI brings to the table. And that's why we identify them as part of the imperatives for the capital market.
And it's even interesting because in our conversation with the CEO of the Central Securities Clearing System, PLC, Mr. Arunajalo Waziri, he raised it that they are ready. I mean, you've seen Australia trying to do DLT in terms of securities settlements and all that. But again, they need to really ramp up and the whole ecosystem. But let me just follow up with you, Tosin. The recommendations from this report in terms of tech adoption in the Nigerian market.
The digital literacy is still a problem in the country. And then, yes, we have a number of young Nigerians who want to enter the market, but sometimes some of them are not digitally literate. And so there's a number of them. In fact, we've seen instances where either through this report or some other reports that we issue out, being the link between the market and the people at Proshare, we've seen a number of investors coming to us after we've given them the overview of the market, saying that, okay, so how can I progress along this line? How can I do this? And more often than not, we refer them to some of the details that we have in our reports, and at the same time, other credible channel. But I'm saying that we need to incorporate digital literacy into our curriculum, either through the University Commission, through their minimum academic standard. They need to incorporate it into the system such that it becomes part of the curriculum. So we are in an era that it is not just about the textbook knowledge or just taking ICT as part of maybe GLC or what is this English test that they do in school. No, it must be part of the core curriculum of the system. So in that way, and that leads me to the second point anyway, that it is a joint thing. That's why we always call for the whole of government approach to things. So it's a joint thing. Even if we want to invest in the infrastructure, because as one of the recommendations say, let's invest in the infrastructure, but let it be a joint thing. So it is not something for, thank God we have the digital economy. It's not something for a digital economy alone. But the financial market must be part of it. And other relevant agencies and ministries must be part of it to invest in infrastructure that will actually move us forward in this. Because yes, this is an avenue for people to, for capital formation. And so, but we are lagging in that area because yes, maybe transparency issues or whatever issues, some of them which we have identified in our survey that investors are concerned about. But we're saying that the investment, increased investment through a collaboration by all of this ministry will expand that infrastructure. And of course, bringing this AI DLT into the system will also increase the transparency such that the young Nigerians, the Gen Z, the millennials that are now in the system, that are now having that buffer, can actually come into the market. And the capital market is integral for any economy. It is unlike us that the market capitalization to GDP is still way lower. We're talking about 3 digits in some other climates. So we need to actually deepen our market with the technology. We may not take the route of going, the age of this. We can actually jumpstart from the DLT and AI era to integrate all of this into the market, and it will be better for all.
Very, very important. I mean, from this report, it's very clear that the age of artificial intelligence and moving beyond distributed ledger technology will bring transparency, improve investor protection, boost economic growth. But of course, we need to invest more in infrastructure. And I know that the Securities and Exchange Commission have been working with the Nigerian Educational Research Development Council. So they have to now bring this into the curriculum as they're working together.
Part of the African Exchange program too.
Yes, you talked about SEC encouraging listings across Africa and the world. I know that the Nigeria Exchange Group is part of the Africa Exchange Linkage program. So working with that, strengthening all of that will be very important for the market. But I must say that this is a very, very interesting report. I've gleaned through it. I love the infographics. I love the whole analysis coming from it. And it's a must-read report for everyone. And of course, I'll be closing with those tri-risk in the global online trading landscape, which everybody, stakeholders need to take note of. The technology, the legal and regulation, and of course, liquidity. Those tremendous risks that must be mitigated as we move into 2025 and beyond. It's very critical. Cybersecurity is very, very important as we see new technology shaping the market. But once again, thank you very, very much, Tosin Ige, Head of Research, Proshare, for this very incisive conversation. And Phebe Ogede, thank you very much, Economist with Proshare, for the insights on the global online trading landscape.
Thank you.
So our viewers, if you want to get further insights on this conversation on the reports, Nigeria Capital Markets Beyond Distributed Ledger Technology, visit the Proshare website displayed on the screen and follow our social media platforms to engage further on this program. Until we come your way again, enrich yourself with knowledge of socioeconomic developments around you, it is wise. I'm Ottoabasi Abasiekong. Thank you for watching and bye for now.